Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight Venom here, bringing you my pretty much. It's gonna just be, I think, a review this time of Eden Zero Chapter 10. Cause okay, let's get the let's get the big part out of the way here, which is how things picked up from basically the bullshit that happened in the last chapter, and. Because here's the thing about this chapter. Mashima didn't dodge any sort of bullet this week. If anything, he just skimmed the surface of it with this chapter, because I'm still pissed how he wasted the Foot Brothers fight, and he just barely, if at all, salvaged the fight with Sibir. Actually, truth be told, the fight with Sibir is I'm kind of in a weird place with the fight with Sibir right now, because for me, he just barely... Because, truth be told, I'm still deciding if he even managed to do even that much of salvaging even the tiniest bit of it. Because I want to be fair about the fight with Sibir. I really like how Mashima basically... Because I want to be fair about the fight with Sibir. I do like how Mashima actually did incorporate Pino and Weiss into the fight as the ones who actually delivered the final blow to Sibir. But the thing is, for me... Again, it kind of all traces back to Shiki. Like, Shiki is... well, like, the stuff with Pino and Weiss in this chapter in terms of the fight, that was definitely good stuff. But it's everything with Shiki I'm kind of questioning, because a lot of the stuff with Shiki in terms of the fight just felt out of place, whereas the stuff with Sibir and the stuff with Weiss and Pino is the stuff where the fight actually had merit to it. So it's one of those things where if you really just took Shiki out of the equation, I think you could have actually had something with this fight, but yeah, it's weird. It's a weird fight, to be sure. And speaking of Pino, I really do like the development she basically got here with her finally standing up to Sibir. Although I do wish we got a tease of it in the last chapter, just so there was more of a build up to her. Just so there was more of a build up or a connection to pretty much her standing up to Sibir in this chapter. It's kind of a weird nitpick, but I do like how she stood up to Sibir. That part I liked, but it did feel kind of... It's one of those things where it felt kind of sudden, and I wish that there was a bit more of a connecting element to it almost. Again, weird kind of thing I'm sure to talk about, but yeah. And now, as far as the big reveal of her being created by Professor Weiss goes, that was not all that surprising. We've known about it for a while now, but what I'm curious to see is what kind of a part she'll end up playing in the overall story from here, because she pretty much says it herself that she basically wants she wants to travel back to the future with she's travel, because we got it right here that she's traveling back to the future with Weiss and with Shiki and Rebecca. So yeah, it should be interesting. So yeah, obviously there, with this being said, that there's obviously going to be a reunion between her and the older Weiss, and I'm curious as to what part she's going to play. If she's going to be part of the main cast, or if she's going to be like basically a secondary. If she's going to be relegated again to just more of a secondary, like of a secondary and support character, like she's been, that'll only appear like when the story needs her to. But yeah, I'm curious what her overall role is going to be if she ends up traveling back to the past, which she ends up traveling to the present or the future with Rebecca and Shiki for sure. But yeah, overall I definitely like overall either way I definitely like what we've been seeing of Pino. Like, I think Pino has honestly been like the best part of this whole arc, honestly, to me. And I guess her and Weiss, I guess. But on the flip side, with the younger Weiss, it's funny, but looking at this whole arc has made me realize that Weiss, like this younger version of Weiss as a character, he hasn't really he hasn't really changed a bit or just barely developed. And I know immediately that that's basically going to say, well, it just proves that Mashima just isn't good at writing, wasn't good at writing him as a character to begin with. But it's one of those things where I almost think that was kind of that was something that Mashima did on purpose. Like, he purposefully basically kind of left any kind of major development for pretty much Weiss, for this younger Weiss, the door, because I think I might have an idea as to where Mashima might be taking this. This is just a theory at this time, but it's basically off what I've seen so far. Like I said, the younger Weiss so far hasn't received a lot of development. He's basically remained for the most part the same person he always has. But I think I might know where Mashima's going with this, especially based on the color page in Chapter 1. I think what Mashima's going to do is that both young and old Weiss are going to be part of the main cast, and it's going to be Weiss's older self that actually helps in leading his younger self to be the person he's supposed to be. It'll basically be a situation where Weiss is going to be mentoring himself, and I'm not gonna lie, I can see some funny but cool possibilities there if that actually is the case. Because let's be real here, the younger Weiss threatening to hijack the ship is just him BSing at this point. And with the whole energy field blocking their path, he really doesn't have any time to be an asshole right now. So, yeah, like, right now I'm kind of hanging on to the thing that, yeah, both young and old Weiss are both going to be part of the main cast, and that the younger Weiss is going to be like a protege to the older Weiss. Either that or once they get to the future, the younger Weiss is going to transform into an older Weiss. But yeah, I think that definitely will say that the whole mentoring idea is probably going to be the more plausible area. Is probably going to be the more plausible area to go down, because we have to remember a couple chapters back too that apparently that Mashima basically said through pretty much that girl that looked like Wendy, that the time isn't really even a factor. It isn't really even an important factor in this story. So yeah, it wouldn't. So basically, from both Weiss. So in that sense, from both Weiss and from both younger and older Weiss meeting, that there wouldn't be too much of a problem, of a paradox problem with that, I guess. Which I guess take that for what it is. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for this review. Again, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and honestly, I just really want to hear you guys' opinions on like the first chunk of this chapter. Because honestly, like I said, I'm kind of stuck in the middle. Did Mashima manage to fix it for you, or is it still bullshit? Even with Pino getting in the fight. But yeah, guys, that's my review. Enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Anylist, Crunchyroll, or Facebook. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.